What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Litecast, live on a Tuesday night here on the CF After Dark Network. I'm Austin Keeney. I'm joined by Matt Nelson. Matt, it's great to talk to you. It's only been a couple days since we've seen each other, but how
That's
about
right.
that? Little Saturday night action. Made the trip up there last minute, had a good time. So,
We did have fun. Um,
yeah,
you survived the show late night. Is that the latest you'd stay out? You'd stayed up in a while.
I got to be honest, we didn't make it through the whole Luke Combs set. It was
Yeah, don't
that was a
blame you.
late one, especially with
It
having to
was a
drive
late
home.
one.
But
That was like most people saw 1 a.m. Like that was want to say he didn't quit playing until midnight. It was late. There's no
Yeah,
question.
no chance of getting there. Was
No.
there a bigger crowd pop though than I think Drunk on a Plane with Dirks Bentley? I think might have been the biggest crowd pop of the night that I saw.
Dirk Bentley was awesome, man. We got to talk about that for a second. Made me feel a little old that like Dirk Bentley, who I grew up listening to in high school, is now opening for Luke Combs. So like that wasn't necessarily a great feeling. Um, but I think he crushed it. Do you have the same opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I he was good. I looked it up. You want to know how old Dirks Bentley is? This will make you feel really old.
Okay. Um,
He's
he doesn't look any older than like 48.
That's pretty close. He's 50.
Okay. I was but even that still, when I said 48, like I wanted to say 38. Um thanks, Caden. He
Yeah, I
looks
know. I apologize. I did the best I could. Stayed as late as I could, but
he does look really young. I want some of whatever magic anti-aging serum he is taking. Um, dude, I don't think he looks all that different from when he did in 2005. It's crazy.
yeah.
Um, Luke Combs, do you have a favorite Luke Combs song? I'm just curious. Like, we can talk about like the show and the broader picture. Like what it means for Iowa State. I'm not a huge Luke Combs fan. I don't like modern country all that much, Keeney. Like I like a lot older country music. So um there was a couple I wanted to hear, but in general, I was just there more for the spectacle and the vibes. Is that how you were?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I have like a favorite song. I like country concerts. I don't get too much into the hey, I gotta like dance or I gotta,
Right.
get really up and down. Like I just like just a nice concert, just a nice live music thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean honestly on Friday, just checked ticket prices and I was like, well, you know what, that's actually not too bad. So just kind of made the last minute decision to head on up there. Yeah, good time though. Except we do need to talk about this a little bit.
Talk about.
The situation with like concessions
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
how it all
yeah.
laid out, and just you went to the George Strait concert last summer, right? So
I did.
how did this compare to a year
Um,
ago?
those of you who were there for the first time aren't gonna like this, Keeney, but it was way better. Like light years better. Was it great? No. Was it perfect? No. I think the concourse is a little narrow and the food lines get in the way of everything. But Keeney, that's normal for a football game. Like that's no different than any home game you go to. So um biggest improvement was drink stands at George Strait for beer. They didn't sell it out of the like main concessions. It was basically just kind of giant tanks with ice, and there were not enough of them, and the lines were not organized, and it was a mess. Way more places were serving, and you had people basically like in pretty orderly lines for the most part. Um, honestly, I didn't wait longer than I don't know, probably 10 minutes to get a beer. And at George Keeney, I think I only got beer one time, and I waited in line for 45 minutes. It's a long time, so it was definitely better. Um, I heard a mixed bag on that though, and same with parking. Some said there wasn't anybody directing, others said I got out okay. I think in general it was pretty well executed. I'd give him a B plus. The audio was great, the stage was great, the setup, all of that. I think ticketing went just fine. I do think they ran out of food, um, which I don't know how many people were there, right? If it holds 67,000 people, Keeney, you had at least 10 on the floor. So you maybe had upwards of, 78, 80,000 people in there. So um, I do give them credit. I'd be curious. Do you know how much they made? Was it only $1 million? Is that all it was? I'm just very curious what, kind of more of the why behind this. But Why
I don't know if
not
they're
do
going to
more of this?
disclose that, or
Maybe not just, yeah. I don't see why they would, but um, the if you're wondering, like, the cost to get Luke, all those acts there, you have to pay them, pay for transporting their stuff, set up, like all that stuff costs a fortune. So it's not like you're going to make 15 million off of a concert, but um, I like that they're going to start to do this. You've got an awesome venue. It's in central Iowa. A ton of people drove up from Des Moines. Keeney Ames was a zoo all day Saturday, all morning. Coffee places, breakfast places, lunch places. It was a madhouse all day. So I'm sure it was a huge deal for the city. And what a positive for them. I'm glad they're pursuing it.
I was kind of blown
So,
away by just the sheer number of people that were there. I think
yeah.
when I saw the stage was going to be in the middle of the field, I didn't know that it meant it was going to be rotating around. So like everybody got a chance to see the performer, and
Yep.
like literally they were going to sell out the entire grandstands. So, that's a big time contemporary act. We
I mean,
probably had close to 70,000 people in the stadium. Like
and what is
I
he
was stunned.
he's probably he's the most popular country artist right now, if not the most, one of the most popular. So, um, again, I went, and I'm not like a fan of his. I knew enough of his music, and it's an outdoor country music concert at Jack Trice. Like, it just sounded like a good time, and
Yeah,
by
I
and large,
mean,
it was.
we have this venue that if you get the right act up there, you can put 60,000 people in there to pay to
Right?
go see it. So we might as well be utilizing it. Um, yeah, I wasn't at the George Strait concert, so my experience with buying beer it was frustrating because the lines were super long, but that just means the
Right.
demand was super high. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a message to Jamie Pollard for the fall. I don't know.
What message might that be?
Maybe there's enough demand for that to uh to expand that operation. Who knows?
To
Anyway,
sell beer?
yeah. Anyway, uh,
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Who who are we to who are we to say?
well,
Um,
keep our eyes on
so
that one.
just keep your eyes peeled. Um, hey man, it was fun to buy, like, what are those big cans? Like 20-ounce Bush Light cans. However, I did hear some reports, if you drank those cut waters in the stadium, Kenny, I don't think a lot of people were prepared for how fast those would hit you and how much more alcohol there is in those compared to like a Bush Light. So, um, what a great time. We had a little party in the neighborhood. Keeney, you graciously showed up. Our neighbors, shout out to Megan and a few of the other neighbors, wanted to do this for a while. We booked the Super Dog cart and had Super Dog cater the tailgate, and that was pretty wild. Got to meet Cyclone Twitter guy Kyle Conrarty's third leg gets a shout out. He was one of the guys slinging hot dogs. So, Kenny, if you're wondering, I think we went through like over 100 dogs in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So it's a pretty large number of dogs to mow through. It was a great time.
Saturday. Well, you graciously had us up there, which was great. Really appreciate that. Saturday was a busy day. Wish we could have got up there earlier, but I'm glad we got up there when we did. So,
We-
is Jamie going to be the AD in the fall, or is he going to go to Wisconsin? I don't know. We'll see. Matt, I
that's a great
really, really
that's a
hope
great
Wisconsin
question.
doesn't try and pry him away from here.
Boy, Keeney, you would sure dislike that. Um, I mean, he is close with Barry Alvarez. He is from Wisconsin. I just don't know if this late in career, like, what's his pitch to Wisconsin going to be? I'll give you 5 years. Like, is
I'll
that is
build
that
a I'll
worth
build Badgertown around Camp Randall.
Patrick's
That's the
time?
pitch. In all seriousness, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going
No,
to
I don't
retire at
either.
Iowa State.
I think so too. Maybe gets involved up there when he's retired in an advisory fashion or something. But be really surprised, I guess, if he jumped at this point, this late in career. Not that it can't happen. So, um, yeah. What's the next concert in Jack Trice? It's Jelly Roll Post Malone.
Yeah, I think in July. That'll
Not a
be.
huge fan of either, but I do think there will be a lot of people who go to that show.
I don't really get the jelly roll thing. Not a fan. So I'm gonna go ahead and opt out of that one. But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm sure it'll sell really well. He's popular. It's not my kind of
Donnie
music.
Donnie Rickles is on one in the chat. Just got the knives out for poor JP here.
The Wisconsin. Hey,
Catching.
that's not a knives out comment. That's hey. In all earnestness, the Wisconsin cross country team would probably be really good. Matt, Saturday was about more than just a concert. Saturday
Yeah.
and Sunday was a busy day for the Iowa State basketball program. So let's jump in there. A lot of transfer portal movement. Do you want
Yep.
to start with Momcilovic, I guess, announcing that he's not coming back, or do you want to talk about the guys
No,
that
he's
committed?
yeah. Let's talk about Momcilovic going to Florida. Todd Golden, I hate you. Um, Nothing but disrespect for your program. No, he's not going to Florida.
That's because he's going to
Um,
North Carolina, right?
Forgot about that. That's right.
They
Sorry.
have
That's
money to
right.
spend in an NBA coach that
Yeah, he's going
can
to
get
Mike
him to the
Malone.
NBA.
You don't need. You can go to the NBA at Chapel Hill because that's basically what it'll be. No, I think like Chris, Brent, those in the Iowa State ecosystem did a really nice job of reporting on this. Look at us giving the media credit here. We knew this was a possibility, and if you're wondering why he had to enter the portal, right? If you're he did not want to hamstring TJ Altenberger if it takes another month plus after everybody else is already committed. Um, After that money is either spent or in that case, left on the shelf and you're kind of left holding the bag, so to speak. So this was, I mean, really Keeney a backup plan if he hears either A, really bad eval or like B gets hurt and can't do the combine. Can't can't put much on performance for scouts. So like, and if that's the case and he doesn't enter the portal, then he's out of options. And he's what? Going to Europe. So I think this is a very common kind of two-step thing to do. And I think Iowa State fans need to be, you can be sad about it, but really there's nothing to be frustrated or upset about. And I think when Momcilovic added on some extra context, Keeney, to this post, like it really helped. He basically said, yeah, TJ, I've talked about this every step of the way. He he basically said, I don't want to leave Otts holding the bag if there's a really good chance I'm not coming back. And like I was listening to Field of 68, Keeney, Jeff Goodman said the only way to come back is if he's outside the top 40. And Goodman says most people I talk to have him easily inside the top 40 in the 20 to mid 30s range. So, yeah, he's going to be I'm going to go on record right now. Keeney's going to be like the 29th pick in the
I
draft.
think it's really possible that, yeah, it depends on how he tests athletically, I guess, at the
Right.
combine, but there's a chance he sneaks into the back end of the first round. It's not very often that you get a shooter of that caliber at his size and that shoots at the volume that he does. So
Yeah.
I'm
You also got to
guessing,
ask, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm guessing that he probably has a pretty good idea of where he's gonna go if he stays in the
Right.
draft. So let's
And even while
there we go.
it's okay to be a little selfish about this because we're fans. What was the upside for him in coming back one more year?
Well, I
For him
mean,
personally.
for him personally, I coming back to Iowa State, I mean, he still would have been well compensated.
Yeah,
Not as much
agreed.
as he could potentially make at another school in the portal, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a chance for
Higher
I guess
higher
it's a
usage
risk.
rate,
It's a
more
chance for him to
shots.
say, "Hey, I can be the number one option on an offense," but
Right.
the NBA is not looking for him to be a number one option. They're looking for him to be just an elite spot up shooter. So
Yeah.
he probably couldn't have done much at Iowa State to raise his NBA draft stock.
I look at two things, right? He basically just had the best 3-point shooting ever. So how do you beat that? And what happens if he blows his knee out in some random game in November? Right now, it really hurts his draft status. So I think if you're putting yourself in kind of his shoes, it makes perfect sense. This is not one of those like when think Keeney. I think if there's fans that may feel a little jaded, it's when someone like Lindell Wigington goes to the draft and then doesn't get picked and can't come back. But I think a lot's changed since then, and this is a pretty clear case. Like they're probably going to call his name early in the draft. So, and
I'm
it
just gonna
gave
put it out
TJ,
there. If he
yeah,
gets picked in the NBA draft, then he has free reign to come on stage at any concert with anybody who rolls through and chug a beer on stage with them.
agreed.
So, it'd sting a lot if he ends up playing at another school. We still have to be prepared for that possibility because the offers that he's going to get are astronomical. They're going to be more than probably the value of a second round contract in the NBA. But I guess
He's
it's
been
really up
ranked number
to
one player in the portal, somewhere between potentially 3 and 5 million,
yeah, like
which is insane. There's only a few programs that can even pay that much. Um, so yeah, there is a chance if he hears you're the 42nd pick, he may end up at one of those 5 schools that can afford to pay that. So, is there
it.
any comment here by Rickles,
It
right?
always is good when you like have your
Yeah.
guys going on to the next level too. It's the same thing as like Kyle Green taking a head coaching job and J.R. Blount taking a head coaching job and are guys moving on to the NBA and playing in the NBA. It's great for the program. It's a sign of program
Yeah.
health. It does hurt us next year because the team would have been better with Milan on it than they might be with him out not on the team. Like, I don't know. That's what we'll get to talk about, is the
Yeah.
unknown of the guys that we brought in. There's a lot to like, but at this point of the year, we're always going to talk in the best case scenario. Like, everybody who commits is going to be the best version of themselves when they're here. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I think the team would be better with Milan instead of Prather from Robert Morris, but
Right.
that's just my personal opinion. And I haven't seen Prather play in an Iowa State uniform yet, so I'll be happy if I'm proven wrong.
He's been committed for 4 days, and you're already a Prather hater. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, nope, you did not hear that from me. I am not a hater.
Just wanted to verify. Okay, perfect. Speaking of Prather, who you clearly don't like, let's jump into the transfers from Saturday. I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you crap.
Well, I know who Matt hates the most out of the portal too, and it's Leon Bond because he came from UNI. Mr. Missouri Valley hater.
Yeah,
actually, and Jaquan Johnson. So you hate two of our
guys.
transfers.
It's tough for me.
Where do you want to start with the guys that did commit? First off, I think we gotta say something about the fact that the TJ brought 5 guys in and all 5 committed in one weekend, and we're done. We've got our roster put together.
Like, listening to Goodman, go on Twitter, Trilly Donovan, a bunch of people are all saying, like, this is crazy impressive to get a good class. They very clearly, the consensus from the industry, right, is they very clearly had their targets. They knew exactly who they wanted, and I got them on campus immediately, all the same weekend, got them all committed. That is incredible. That means what he's selling those recruits from a vision perspective is hitting the right notes. Whether it's development, you're going to fit us stylistically. I would imagine his pitch was probably different to each one of those 5 players, Key. And clearly, they saw the fit here, and this staff's got a plan for all of those guys. So much better than sitting here in 2-3 weeks trying to get commitments from people. And
could you imagine not having a single portal commitment
yet? Having one, maybe going 0 for 3 and losing out on guys to Ole Miss, West Virginia of all places. Boy, that would really stink. Can't imagine. Cannot imagine having that happen.
Saw a couple D2 guys that are transferring up, so there's options out there still if you're in a position like that.
That's right.
Let's go chronological. Let's start at the beginning. Leon Bond was the first guy that came in from UNI. We talked about him a little bit last week.
Yeah, Leon Bond. I'm really excited for him. I think the pitch was very efficient player, good defender. Maybe not the most consistent, like, motor wise, but I think TJ's great at finding that gear. But put up 12 a game in a really slow system. I'm guessing the pitch was like, here you can probably score 14, 15. Reminds me a little bit of Mariel Shaq, right? Like, known as a good defender, very athletic, didn't show a ton of offense at Virginia, wasn't necessarily asked to do that. And obviously, had a terrific season here. I'm not going to make that direct comparison, but I think that's probably what we're in line for here. And I would say quite a bit of minutes, Keeney. He's either going to start or play starters minutes. I think a lot of people make the comparison to Nate Heisey, and in certain games, Nate did play 25, 30 minutes, but in some games it was more like, 15 to 20. So I think whether he starts or not, he's going to log a lot of minutes because of his athleticism, his defense, pretty good shooter as well. So probably averaged 4.5, 5 attempts a game and made, I think it's like a 36% career shooter. So, like, maybe not elite, but a good shooter. Tony Bennett, that's right. Played with Buchanan and Bennett at Virginia.
Started at Virginia, teammate of Blake Buchanan for a year before going to UNI. Like, I think that made it a pretty easy transition. Sorry, I'm sweating out the NBA play-in tournament. Can you believe that? Got the last minute.
I can, and I love it.
Last minute of Hornets Heat going on right now.
So Bond is kind of profiled either as your starting wing or will get a lot of minutes there. Jaquan Johnson, really love that they got him. I mean, before we hit, sorry, I you know what, I'm doing distracted podcasting. That's bad. Yeah, I love it.
Bad work by me. You should call me out. But I think Bond is going to be just like a defensive menace in the TJ system too. You look at a guy with that kind of athleticism.
Yeah.
At 6'5", he'll be able to, he'll be able to guard like point guards. He could guard smaller
Yep.
players, no doubt. And I think he might be able to play up a little bit too, kind of like we saw
Yeah.
Heisey do, where like he'll be able to guard those like 6'8" guys, maybe ones that just
He's
like don't
built.
overwhelm you with physicality, but
Yep.
guys over there on the wing. Donnie, I have the over, so we're trying to scratch out
All
a
right,
couple
Donnie,
more points
scratch
here
out
in
the
the
over.
last minute.
Also, really good off the bounce, like some nice dunks. Like good, he'll be good in transition. Just honestly fits our system perfectly. I think the only other better fit is the other Valley guy, Keeney and Jaquan Johnson. And look
Jaquan
at this,
Johnson, I think, was the
starting with
second
two
one. Yep.
Valley guys. So both of these two all-team defensive players um, from the Valley. Jaquan was the defensive player of the year. I want to say finished in the top 2 or 3 for just overall player of the year. Put up almost 18, 19 points a game. Um, he's short, what, 5'11", but weighs 215 and is a little muscle hamster, just an absolute bowling ball, which if you're looking at like a comp, right, it's what you wanted Taman Lipsey to do, to be a crazy physical pass defensively, be able to finish at the rim despite being a little smaller, which if you watch his tape, you can see he can do. And he's a really good 3-point shooter, like a career 39% shooter. It takes a fair amount of looks. Um, I think it will be an adjustment translating to the Big 12, but we've seen small guards in this league have success, and he looks crafty. Like when he gets to the rim, he can finish. And if he's getting good looks and open threes, shooting that percentage or height really doesn't matter as much. So,
That's the only quote unquote red flag for him is that he's listed at 5'11" in the program, so he's really probably about 5'9", 5'10". But you don't need to be tall to take the ball away from other point
no,
guards. Like he gets steals. He's physical. He plays good defense. He's also an 80% free throw shooter last year,
yeah,
something that obviously needed to be upgraded. And he checks that box. He can make his free throws. So,
yep.
and he's not going to be trusted. He's not going to be asked to do like the Taman Lipsey thing. I don't think he's going to be playing like
No,
36
30 minutes.
minutes a game.
I don't think so either. Um,
But he'll be a
I
really
can
nice
see.
piece to
I
bring
can.
off the bench, probably initially to, just bother guys, take the ball away.
Very curious to see how they want to use him lineup wise. If you start him at point and move Torrey to shooting guard, if you have him come off the bench, Goodman said it well in his podcast. There's basically 5 guards for 3 spots, and I'd like that depth. I think you can work with that because you could also play a little bit bigger as well because they went after some size in the portal, and size in the portal was commanding just an absurd amount, a scary like premium amount. So let's cover the bigs quick, and then we hit on Prather already. We'll touch on him as well because I do think it's exciting. But um, Taj Manning is a name that we all probably know a little bit. Came from Kansas State, was there for 3 years. Basically, just a rebound guy. Like I think averaged more points than more boards than points, but didn't play a ton under Tang and played a lot more once he left slash was fired. However you want to describe that. And Keeney, they were looking for one thing with that muscle
I
rebounding
was going to say just like a body
beef.
that can, bang down low and grab rebounds.
Like
He's like he's like Eric
Dustin
Mulder plus, I think. It's like
Dustin
Mulder
Hogue,
if he was able to play more minutes.
Dustin Hogue, but maybe not as offensively skilled. I mean, honestly, we didn't really see the offense from him until late in his career. Early on, Hogue had one job. You remember what it was?
This, I
Rebound,
mean, he
rebounding.
rebounded. He was like
That's it.
6'6", but
Yeah, correct. Had crazy good like hops and
like led
was
the Big 12 in
physical.
rebounding at
Yeah,
6'6".
correct.
So Taj Manning, I don't think is that kind of guy, but he's
No,
a
he's
guy that
bigger than
can
that, and he's bigger than
he'll
that
play
too.
defense and he'll rebound.
I think it's what you would have liked Mulder to be, but you didn't get that from him at any point in the season. That energy, kind of like what Rob Jones was for the first few years of his career, where before like his senior year, where you leaned on him a ton, you ran some offense through him, let him post up. Like primarily Rob's job was energy, rebounding, blocking some shots. And I think that's what they're looking for from him. I think Trey Singleton is one of the most exciting players. I'm kind of shocked he's not in the top 100 transfer wise. He was a 4-star recruit out of high school, played at Northwestern. Um, didn't, was kind of just like a, complimentary player for him. But man, is he skilled. Can run the floor, can handle the ball, led fast breaks there. It's got some really fun highlights if you go on YouTube and from some Big Ten games. Was kind of a menace in Hilton Coliseum, Kenny. I was at that game. There's good tape on that too. We kind of had trouble guarding him. Was getting to the baseline off the bounce. He's really athletic. I think more athletic than Jefferson is. So like, I think fans want to make that easy comp of that do it all forward. I don't think he's maybe quite as skilled. Josh was extremely skilled, but I think he's a lot more athletic. Um,
I'm just looking real quick for like a good Kempom player comp. I don't
ooh,
know.
that'd be a good
I
one
guess
looking
you
at
got to
for
be a
him.
real. You probably take some like deep level of ball knowledge to really
Yeah.
to understand this.
It seems like he was one of their top targets. Like
Do
sounds
you
like
remember
they
Emmanuel Miller from TCU a couple of years
I
ago?
do remember Emmanuel Miller. I liked his game a lot.
That's one of his advanced stats comps for Trey Singleton.
Well, that's a deep cut. Um
That's probably the most relevant one. I mean, there's some other guys from like the early 2010s.
Big
So
Ted. Ooh, hit me with a few of those.
Daniel Turner, I couldn't even tell you. Played at Green Bay. You know a lot about the Wisconsin Green
Mm-mm.
Bay team from 2011?
Afraid not.
Yeah, I this wasn't as
That's
I should
fruitful.
have planned this out a little bit
But he
more.
also his minutes were a little limited, right? Like it's not like he was getting 35 minutes a night and was asked to score 12 a game. So um honestly, the Jefferson comps are kind of inevitable. Josh was what, third team all WCC when they snagged him and was again kind of a complimentary player. He's also just a sophomore, right? Like he's got a lot of time that they can spend developing him. And I think the pitch was really simple, right? It's going to give you a bigger role and continue to develop that skill. Let you be a bigger part of the offense on the break, passing, everything that Jefferson did. Not as good of a shooter from deep. I think that's okay. I think you've got enough shooting. Um, with Prather, Bateman, Johnson, Bond. Like I think you can live with that. So I'm really excited for him. Like it. I, I don't know if he's the one I'm the most excited about, Kenny, but I think his upside's maybe the highest. Is that how you feel?
He definitely has the highest upside because
Yeah.
he's only going to be a sophomore next year. The idea would be that you've got him for hopefully 2 years if he really pops off, and if
Yep.
he is just pretty good, then maybe you get him for 3. So he might be one that I think we have really high expectations for at the start of next year.
And he's going to
Like
start, right? He'll be a starter.
he might be the guy that we're asking, we're like scratching our heads and asking questions in like early January, like, hey, what's going on with this guy? I think it might take him a little bit of time, but
Could see that as
the
well.
potential's obviously there.
Yeah. You could have got a senior to come in and be a star power forward if you wanted. They probably had the money. This to me is a longer term developmental piece. They really like his ceiling and his upside. And that doesn't mean you won't get impact from him this next year, but I think that's got to be their focus with him because I think he's got a crazy bright future. And this really helps, right? So like when I play Big Keeney, you could trot out you either, we've got 4 guys now north of 6'8" that are all very big. So Buchanan at 6'11", played at 7 foot. Singleton, I think 6'9", so very similar size to Jefferson, Manning, 6'8", 6'9". And both those guys are big. They've got size, like physically. So I don't know. Feels like you really shored that up. You also have the Frenchman, was it Ronaldo Kinman coming in from France, Torres buddy, who looks exactly like Jojo Pepler when he watches tape. Keeney, he's gonna be raw. I don't know that he'll play much, but is crazy athletic, very springy. Again, I've watched some of his highlights, and Tugler is as good of a comp as I could make. So you've really got 5 forwards down low. And then that wing spot is the last one, right? So we just mentioned Bond. Um, and is it Julian Prather? Is that right?
Ryan Prather.
Ryan Prather, that's right. Um, to me, Keeney, it feels like he's been brought in to get buckets. Is that incorrect?
I think he's here to be a shot maker.
Yes. Be able to create his own shot, get to the rim, mid-range floater, like 3-pointers. If you watch his tape, that was his that was his role. He's not a plus defender. I think he's bad. I think he can be what Momcilovic was, which is a good positional defender, hopefully. But his job is to shoot threes, to get to the hoop. And Austin, I think we missed a little of that shot creation this past year. You saw when Momcilovic was really getting smothered, there really wasn't somebody else that could go create their own shot. So again, the easy way out would be if you want to comp Curtis Jones, but We say Heaney not as good as Curtis Jones because of how Curtis ended his career, but do you remember what our expectations for Kurt were when he came into the program?
I remember for like
I,
the first 3 months of Kurt, we were like, "Is this guy? This guy's not even playable." Like, what were we thinking?
you're correct. He did not look playable whatsoever. He looked a little smaller than we thought, and then boom, it clicks in January, February, and he is a freight train for the next season and a half, right? So I think that's the move here. And Kenny is actually one of the more higher, like good stat numbers, really efficient, no turnovers. What did he? I believe he led the country in assist to turnover ratio, almost 5 assists a game. So
I'm
it's
not really sure how
clearly
much that means because I'm not sure
yeah.
how much he was like dribbling, but
I think
what I
it's
can
just smart decision making.
yeah, what I can tell you. So here's what I mean. The things that are going to stand out that you really like about him are 38% from three on 220 attempts. Like he's a
That's a lot
volume
of it.
shooter.
That's a lot of attempts.
Yeah, and he shot 84% from the free throw line. So like he'll shoot. I'm sorry. We have overtime in the NBA playing tournament,
Oh,
Matt.
you probably
We
feel
hit
great
we
about
hit the
that.
over. Now we're going to overtime. It's good
Love
night.
it.
Yeah, all right.
Um,
Back to I didn't watch a lot of
yes,
Robert Morris last year. I got to be honest. Wasn't super
a
clued
lot
into
of
the
the a lot
Horizon
of the
League.
to the Bob.
Kind of wondering how he was like only a second team all conference player when you look at his stats. But you know what? We've been and he's like the fifth guy we pulled out of the portal. I don't know where I don't know if the staff ranks like priority. Like these are the guys that we want, but to have a guy that is a capable shooter that you can throw out
Well,
there. We lost Matt.
cut out.
Lost Matt's video. This is live podcasting at its finest. But how many times have we just been like begging to find more shooting that we can bring in off the bench? And Prather is a guy that can make shots. So
Now
what his role
here's
ends up being, I don't
the
know.
guy. Now here's the guy.
Chris Collinsworth voice, you should
Yeah,
slide in when you get your camera back on.
you think the people would like that?
Do the Collinsworth slide. Yeah. Yeah, he's a guy that can make shots. I mean, talk about it a lot. I just say it enough times, I'll manifest it. That means he's probably going to shoot terribly for his first couple months, but
Yeah, we're back like a bean burrito. Hold on, I didn't slide in. Hey, Jim, the opposite of Don Nelson.
Don Nelson's in the portal. I'm just going to say it. He's trying to get that fifth year.
Dom Nelson in the portal.
There's
That's
a
true.
lot
He
going
is.
on with this. I don't know. I'm not like clued into, hey, guys are trying to get fifth years. I don't know if somehow that gets passed before next year. Do we just say, hey, Taman, why don't you run it back?
Um,
Do you think he would do it, or is he like, you know what, I've tied the bow on my career and I'm ready to go do my next thing?
you gotta ask him about it, right? You gotta kick the
Are you
tires on
saying
it.
you
There's
got
no
to
way you
make him
don't.
say no?
I think you
Do you need to
do.
make Joshua Jefferson say no?
Uh, yes. Why not?
You need to make Taman say no, just like you need to make Brad Stevens say no to your coaching job.
Okay. Do you want to hear some splits real quick on these transfers? So,
Yes, please.
um, Bond. So I'm gonna give you here 2.3 point free throw, and I'll toss in rebound and assist just for fun. Bond is 40, 48, 36, 75. 36 and 75, we take that all day long. That would have been an upgrade over just about anybody on last
75
year's team.
especially.
Yes. About 5 rebounds a game, 1.5 assists. That I can really live with those numbers. Manning is not a 3 point guy. I'm not even sure what his free throw is. 4.2 points, 5 boards, shot 48% from two. So like pretty dependable there. Um, man, Jaquan Johnson. So 42 from the field, 38, almost 39 from beyond the arc. And in the 80s free throw wise. Um, just really, really good. I think about how big of an upgrade that 3 point percentage is and that free throw percentage is over what you had this past year. Um, Singleton's a 75% free throw shooter, Keeney. 48% from the field. Um, not a very good 3 point shooter, not a strength, but I don't know how much you're going to ask of him to do that. Prather, 16 points, 4 boards, 44% from the field, 37% from three. Keeney, he is also 85% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Like average those five together. I don't have Manning's. I cannot imagine he took all that many attempts. But for those four, you've got two in the upper 80s and two in the mid 70s. It's 80% across those two. 3 point percentage, you average them together again, you're at about 37%. Those are both upgrades over what Iowa State shot. By the end of the season, as a team, outside of Momcilovic from three, Keeney, it was not all that great. It wasn't horrible, but definitely could have been better.
Well, Jefferson really cooled off. Bateman didn't shoot great in
Yes.
the tournament. Torrey really cooled off, and he was never much of a 3-point shooter to begin with. Like,
Manning was a 70% shooter this past year. How about that? From free throw. So is again could not have had many attempts, but those are the two
I'm not
biggest.
really looking at anything statistically on Manning's profile. I just
No,
assume like he's just a guy. I'm also assuming, look, you never know how things are going to work out. He kind of feels like a pickup that is there to be like a body who plays defense. And if you get any offense out of him, that's a bonus.
if he scores 5 points, you're thrilled. Right, like two putbacks and an and one on one of those. I do think I wanted a couple things from this team, right? Um, better free throw shooting, number one, and I think at times, especially as like Torrey started to slump, like we couldn't keep people honest the way that we need to, because like when our offense was at our peak, which you saw against like Purdue, for example, a lot of two-man game in the paint, Jefferson able to initiate, Buchanan able to make passes, but that goes away when teams can sit off it, right, and just pack the paint. We kind of talked about that, Keeney, as went through the season, and that should get a lot better. Yes, Momcilovic shot great, but I don't think anybody else was all that afraid, especially the way the stats played out with our 3 point shooters by the end of the year. Um, but if it's you've got Johnson, Bateman, and Prather out there, you're going to have three guys that are all well north of probably 37, 38%. Um,
Well, you saw it in the way that Tennessee defended us in the Sweet
yeah,
16 game, or
right.
bumping Momcilovic and having a guy face guard him the entire game because there's just not enough other threats out there that you got to worry about. So
Yeah,
subtracting the 50% guy on high volume sucks, but
right.
team maybe a little bit more well balanced. You think about like Bateman should take a big step up. He played a ton as a freshman.
Yeah.
See those guys, guys
Torres,
that make the
Torres shot should be better too. Right. Like look at the jump that
Jackson
I
Penson here needing some
love it,
help on
Jackson.
buying After Dark hats, which we love. By the way, we do have those on sale now
How about
on the
that?
Cyclone Fanatic shop. So, I mean, I'm partial to the one I have. I don't know. Maybe we need to pull up the shop here real quick.
Do it.
How about this a little impromptu ad of our own stuff?
Sarah, our own store, not a sponsor, could be. You know who is a sponsor, Keeney? The Iowa Distilling Company. How about that? How about that for an ad read? While you're getting this pulled up, huge thank you to them. Um, we're really grateful for their support. Really like their vodkas, their bourbons, the Saints and Sinners apple pie. Prairie Fire is really excellent. Um, I think we're going to commit to getting down there for a show here this summer. But you helping them as a sponsor helps us and everything we do here at After Dark. So we're really happy to have them on board. Honestly, it's always good to support local. I feel that way about beer, about whiskey, things like that. Right? Like don't buy some mass produced stuff. Give a little helping hand to someone who does it locally. Keeney, uh, just want to say thanks to those guys.
Love it. And speaking of guys that do it local, obviously Cyclone Fanatic, you guys are familiar with their merchandise stuff. And then, yeah, get yourself an After Dark hat. Rep it. We got them up here on the screen.
I
Uh,
like that gray one with the black patch. That's nice.
sound off in the chat. Jackson needs some help picking out which ones to buy. Let's see. I think I like that gray one with the tan patch too. That's pretty sharp.
I do like that. Rope hats are in too. We got plenty of those. Sorry, King. Now it's my turn to be distracted. Um,
You're
your
putting in a
Minnesota
bet?
your Minnesota Twins are up 6-0 on Boston. We're tied for the best record in the American League coming in. Me, who was ready to fire the entire team into the sun here 10 days ago. Um, I don't know what's gotten into him. Um, Sam B. Richardson.
Now, there's a name I
Um,
haven't heard in a long time.
who was the other Sam Richardson that caused us to have a Sam B? I believe he was a cornerback.
He was a corner. I think he was
That's
like,
right.
I think he planted the flag at the Oak State game or at the Oklahoma game.
It could have been.
I think
Maybe
that
that
might
was.
have
I
been
thought that
him.
was Everett Edwards. Maybe not.
That
Uh,
might be a little bit old, actually. Yeah, I think Sam Richardson, the cornerback, was a little bit older than that. But
listen, man.
Sammy B, I mean,
I thought he was going
look,
to be the greatest quarterback to ever play here for a period of time.
I got to give him a lot of credit because he played on some really bad football teams, and like he stood
Yeah,
in there and took it as best he could. So
I,
I think
I
he
wa-
could
I
have
always
he
liked
could have
him.
done more in a different, on a better football team, but like for what he was, I don't know. He was quarterback when I was in college, so like
California kid. We absolutely decimated Kansas one year with him. I want to say he threw for like 5 touchdowns. He
that was like
actually
his first time playing, and then we all thought he
yeah,
was the truth, and
that's
then
right.
we went like 3-9 the next year because the team just wasn't good.
He's actually like in time in the leaderboard for some passing categories at Iowa State. If that says anything about what our leaderboard used to look like, not super high up on it, right? But um, that's crazy to say out loud. Him and Grant Rojas, right? We had kind of the combination, couldn't figure out which one was going to play, and then at some point, Jared Barnett worked his way in.
Sammy B, yeah, he was the guy at the end of a lost season that, yeah, you put him in there, and then you're right, he lit up Kansas that one time, and you're like,
Yep.
okay, maybe he is the truth. And then I think he got hurt like halfway through the next year.
Yeah.
He wasn't the truth, but he was, he was a competent quarterback.
Good
More
little guy
statistically, yeah, more
had some
statistically
had some
relevant than
flow.
people remember, but
That's right. I hope he's doing well. I don't know what he's doing. He could come on the show anytime. Would love to have him.
I mean,
Um,
that's off-season fodder. We need stuff to talk about here as portal season winds down. Podcast doesn't want to go anywhere. We might be a little bit more like every other week instead of every single week, but we need stuff to talk about. We need people to talk to. So, Sammy B, we'll
Keeney,
maybe we'll try and track him down.
his 2014 season, his junior year, passed for 2,700 yards, 18 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Like, had a pretty good season. Um, I mean, is that elite? No, but it's not terrible. Um, his senior year was a little tougher, but
I think
passed
he
for
got hurt
six.
that year. Pretty
Yeah,
sure Lanning took over that year because we had to do something. I'm also pretty sure that was the year that Paul Rhodes got fired.
yes, passed for 6,000 yards in his career. That's nothing to sneeze at. Um, so okay. Boy, didn't think we'd
Remember
be
a
going
cyclone
through.
quarterback? That was a fun game.
Yeah, maybe that's a new segment. We can hit on Austin Arnaud next week. Love me some number 4. Um, okay, while we're on the topic of football, Keeney, um, it's time to celebrate,
Yeah,
man.
Matt, how are you
We're
celebrating
celebrating,
our
man.
three-game
We're
winning streak in the
celebrating.
Cyhawk series?
I'm gonna go get some ice cream for my pregnant wife after this podcast. We're gonna enjoy some ice cream together. It's time to celebrate, man. Like we should probably be opening some beers up. Um, man, what a great what a great day. I mean, I was at that game. So I mean, I was at the winning Cyhawk game in 2023. Were you there? Where were you in 2023 when we won that game?
You know what? I vaguely remember being there, but it might be getting incepted into my brain because if I look at the record books, it seems like that game didn't even happen.
It didn't happen. Um,
You add that, so the year they cheated, the year that they forfeited because of COVID, because they were scared of us.
they were
Like,
scared of us. Yep.
I mean, is there any question now about who the premier football program is in the state of Iowa? I was thinking about this. Like, did you know that Iowa State now has more 10-win seasons, more conference championship game appearances, and more head-to-head wins since 2022?
Man, um, thank you to the NCAA. Kenny, we've
We give
never
these guys a
said
lot of flack, but you know what?
no. What do you mean? We've never said anything bad about them on this show. It's a very well-run organization. They're very relevant. They've really been very, you know, very prescient and have really had a lot of foresight on what's coming in college athletics. And they've stayed in front of that curve, and then they stick to their guns, right? Like when teams cheat, when the coaches do low down, dirty things like tamper with another player on another team, the NCAA does what they should, and they enforce the rules. And nothing but good things to say about that organization.
Yep.
What an awesome job by them. Well done.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
you said it better than I could have. So
do you think
I love that it's 3 years later and
that's right?
somehow Cade McNamara is still coming back to haunt them.
The best part of the Cade McNamara experience was really just the friends we made along the way. Is that how that one goes? I mean,
The
what
original this was the first sign of Rocco the red flag, throwing that pick six to lose that game, but he did it many more times in his Cyclone career.
I mean, okay. Career stats at Iowa. They paid him like $2.5 million, basically like tanked their NIL budget because they spent so much on him and a few other. He wasn't the only one. A couple others that didn't pan out. For all that money, they got 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 16 sacks, a rating sub 100, and now what? They got. I wonder. I'd be very curious how many total wins they got um, for their troubles
Well,
in signing him.
we know that they got 4 that got taken away.
Right.
So Cade McNamara did technically
Um,
never beat Iowa State.
it's very true. They went 8-5 in 24. And I believe he got. I can't remember if he played every game in that season or not. I think he maybe did. Um, what an absolute waste of money. And then I love that he's coming back from the grave to embarrass them, take wins away. And I love that Iowa fans are like mad at the NCAA. It's like, dude, they self-reported they've got like on 13 separate occasions they called a player while he was still at Michigan and tried to get him to get in the portal and come to their team. Like the NCAA actually has a decent track record of taking away wins if you do that. It's like the one thing they do well. Um, so I think it's hilarious. And the Wikipedia page is already updated, baby. Like hang the banner, the forfeited win banner from 23, man. Like I'm all about it. I think I've seen Iowa fans complaining as well because I think it nullified a Cooper DeJean punt return. And that season it was already the one that they are still stuck on with the improper or invalid fair catch signal, which was absolutely the right call, and it's his own fault for that. So
Yeah, I mean,
I
what I'm
love
hearing
it.
is that there's one punt return that he had that
That's
is
right.
now gone, now struck from the record book. There was no second one. I don't know what they're talking about.
The other great part about this whole thing is you might be wondering, what did Michigan get out of having been tampered with and having lost their starting quarterback? You know what they got, Keeney? They
They
won.
got a
They won.
national
They
championship.
got a natty. They got that bum off their roster, and I would pay tampered with him, paid $2.5 million to get him, and now has to give up all the wins from that
There
season, dude.
may or may not have been other shenanigans going on with Michigan that year too. Like maybe.
Could have been, but dude, it's too funny to not just chuckle at, man. Like what a get.
This is a
Great
great
work out of
question, by the
everybody,
way.
all
I
parties
think if you
involved.
ask a Creighton fan, they'll say it was Owen Freeman.
Oof. Yeah, that didn't go well.
Cade maybe is a proportion of their spending for those first couple years,
Right.
but they won in spite of whoever their quarterback was. So I think their record would have been the same if they started Deacon Hill from game one. Like, I don't know. Owen Freeman kind of completely destroyed Greg McDermott's last year at Creighton.
Really did kind of railroaded it. Was he a sleeper agent? Is that
He might have been asleep for a lot of it.
sleep on the bench, correct? Yeah. I've seen some funny posts from Kansas State people saying Taj Manning was a plant by Alzenberger the whole time.
Was he the guy
And
relaying the messages from the huddle?
he
Was he on the
relayed the
roster for that?
messages, and that now he's been safely recalled back to Ames. I do love that.
That's what we
Um
call chestnut checkers.
that's right. Thank you, Kirk Ferentz, for tampering. That's the moral of the story. Um and thank you to the NCAA for nothing but respect for my NCAA troops
Matt, we've
The
got some absolute scenes in Charlotte right now. By the way,
no boy.
the Hornets won the play-in game by 1 point.
Can we? Okay, so let's. We've already hit on my MLB leading, extremely popular with the owner Minnesota. Ownership Minnesota Twins. It's all going great. We're still not mad at the owners. We've already forgiven everything. It's all good. Um, should we hit on the NBA real quick? Maybe not even quick. Like it's been a while since we need to get Dylan on for a Nets minute, no doubt. But I am really excited that we've got Timberwolves Nuggets in the first round again. There are the admins for those Twitter accounts are already stirring things up. Like that is a legit rivalry. I think Kenny, I've seen the last 28 games. It's dead even 14-14. Played some really fun playoff games. Last couple have not been maybe so much fun if you're a Nuggets fan. A lot of local interest in that too. I think there's a fair amount of both Nuggets and Wolves fans that live in kind of our ecosystems, Keeney. So I'm really, really excited for that series.
This is you guys going. This is you and Jake Bren going head to head with each
Me and
other.
Jake Brandon going head to head. So and I think Skipple Larry's a Timberwolves fan, says secretly from what I see on Twitter. So we'll see if we can get Larry involved in this one. But really excited for that matchup. Anything else in the playoffs you're looking forward to? I think
Personally, no.
no.
Like this year, kind of. It's been a multi-year process, but I'm really sort of just giving up my investment in the NBA. I can't do it. I can't do the regular season. I'll watch the playoffs, but no Pacers, so no
Yeah.
Halliburton, no Mavs.
Well, and just
They're
a gross amount of tanking in the league this year, right? Like basically made the last 2-3 months of the season just unwatchable. Um, like we had the tanking Super Bowl in Utah a week ago. Brian Windhorst, I love Wendy, went off on it, Keeney. Where basically was Memphis. Memphis would hurt their odds of getting the top pick by 7% by winning, and I think for Utah it was 10%. And each team had more than 10 players on the injury report. Final score was like 147 to 109. And I forget which team, but one team had three different players get a triple double. Just like an abomination of basketball. Sure, it was a great sicko watch. I think that's hilarious that one of those teams had three players get triple doubles, but it's just not good product. Really is not. I think that's why the NCAA tournament ratings, Keeney, went through the roof, and why the regular season ratings went through the roof. I know people saying, "Oh, it's because of transfers and there's more stars," but I don't. I think it has a lot less to do with that. I think college basketball fans are still. It's not like we've gained more college basketball fans because people can transfer more. If anything, it hurts you with diehards who get frustrated with the player movement. It's the NBA, just not a good product during the regular season. And when the product really started stinking, right, in as we got into 2026, was when you hit all those stretches of incredible big Monday games, and late January, February was just nuts for college hoops. So college basketball was able to kind of pick up the pieces. I'll be very curious to see if it hurts playoff viewership, Keeney, because I think a lot of people are just like you. They were kind of out on the regular season.
I'm excited about the NHL playoffs. Actually, to be honest with you, that's when I'll check in. Might jump on the Wild with you. I don't know. I need a team that I can follow.
Wild Stars first round again. The playoffs is kind of broken, where because of how they do set up their brackets, um, you have insanely
I know it's
good.
a problem because it's
It's
the
a
same teams
problem.
that play each other in the first
It's
round
the
every year.
it's the same teams that play every year. Teams inside the division. It needs to be fixed, and you also end up with really good matchups. Like the Wild and Stars probably don't deserve to have to play each other in the first round. They've got an obscene number of points, and if the West didn't have the Abs who have just run away from everybody, I think either team would essentially be the top seed in the Eastern Conference, right? So like, I hate that they have to play each other, but it. I mean, as a fan of those teams, it stinks. It does make for great viewing. Like, any first round NHL series are a lot more exciting, I think, than like a second round series in the NBA. So,
Yeah, I'll be tuned
um,
into that. That's what I'll be paying more attention to next week, I guess. We got
playoff
a
hockey
question
is
about
great.
Aiden
It's very
Flora.
fun.
He might be our starting running back. So
So that's word on the street.
I don't know if he'll be returning a lot of punts if he's going to be the starting running back.
I'm going to give him one. I think he's still going to return some punts. but I do think he's going to see a lot of time at running back, which I think is exciting. Um, Timmy retired and Harden left my Rockets. Boy,
JD, you're kind of an enigma here because a Rockets fan, but also love Tim Duncan. I'm assuming that's who Timmy is Tim Duncan.
yeah,
JD also wants us to go back to the Big Eight. I think that'd be fun.
you're outing yourself here a little bit, JD, but I love it. I'm here for it.
We appreciate you listening or watching along, and we appreciate you commenting. Matt, that was everything on my agenda.
That's it. Women's basketball is getting some transfers. This is going to be a big week for them into the weekend. So just keep your eyes peeled for them adding folks. They added the leading scorer from Kent State, and I think they're gonna keep getting girls on campus and girls committed. So in the meantime, Keeney, we're cheering for Vanderbilt. Go Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's got a big week of some transfers coming on campus. I think Keeney knows what I'm talking about. UConn as well. They're going to maybe host a big man from St. Mary's. Boy, that would be really nice. Not that there's any specific reason we're rooting for those programs to have good recruiting success.
Well, look, man, anytime you can blow all your budget on a guy who averaged 8 points a game in the West Coast Conference, you got to do it.
You got to do it. That's right. Is TJ just going to go to a beach? I don't think TJ has the ability to relax for even a second. So I'll be very curious to see, like, what is homie doing for the next couple weeks? Is Audi going to Maryland? Keeney, have you seen any speculation on that?
I just think in general, we got to know soon where she's going to go. There's been a few of them thrown out there. I think Oklahoma was kind of an obvious connection with Jenny Baranczyk. And they just had a big that I think got drafted. Yeah. Notre Dame is one that people were connecting her to. I haven't heard anything about Maryland, but maybe. There's got to be announcements coming soon. Jada Williams going to LSU. Kim Mulkey and Bill Fenley, the rivalry persists, even though she's not at Baylor anymore.
Good for her. I don't
wish get your money, I guess. Yeah. You know what? I wish she would have stuck around. She's a good player, but it is what it is.
I think it's time
actually having a dedicated special teams coach this year. Hopefully, no more dumb turnovers. We'll see. Great. I don't know, man. I'm super disconnected on football right now. I'm having a tough time getting into like spring football, even though I know the team is all new, so there's a lot to learn.
Go to the game on the 25th. I think it'd be I go to those occasionally. I know Campbell didn't do them for a lot of years, but I think it'll actually be a fun time to get to see these guys practice. It not going to do a scrimmage the way that we maybe might think. I think Rogers runs it kind of more like a practice, but man, there's a lot of new faces. Sounds like Zane Flores and Jalen Green have been. Is it Jalen Green? I think I've got NBA. I've got
Jalen Rayner.
Jalen Green. I got NBA stuck on my brain. Flores and Rayner have been kind of, I don't know, splitting some reps at one, pushing each other. I think I would still expect Rayner to be the starter, but Flores I forgot, he's pretty young. I think he's just a sophomore or a junior, and played some meaningful snaps at Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State fans would say they were horrible snaps. But I think it's nice that you've got it's pretty true. A Big 12 caliber backup, at least, was recruited at this level, was highly sought after, and has played in the Big 12 before too. So the last thing I've heard from there is that Conradi is like bombing 65-yarders in practice. How about that?
Well, I look forward to him hitting a 54-yarder against Iowa then at some point.
Love it.
I think, Matt, I don't know if it was yours.
Did he hit one in 23?
No, he didn't.
Oh no, we won that game because they cheated. That's right.
He hit one in 24 and 25.
And 25. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. I think it was you. I think this one was you. But Matt Campbell preemptively canceled spring game was one of my favorite fake headlines that we did back in the day.
That was one of mine.
That was so good, man.
Yep, love it.
Yeah, we had some good times. All right.
Okay.
We got a Forrest comment too. That team was dying, a bad situation. I agree.
Very true. That was a horrible. That whole team was in a bad situation.
I heard someone like compared it to like Iowa State going 2-22 in basketball. I think that's actually kind of apt. Like
I agree.
A guy who put up numbers on the 2-22 basketball team, like you working your way through a bad situation.
Team had kind of quit on Gundy. Gundy had kind of quit on the program. The vibes were super weird around everything. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Matt, this was a lot of fun.
We'll
we'll call it here. We'll be back in, I don't know, maybe next week, maybe a couple weeks from now. We'll see. But yeah, let's get into off season. Let's have some fun.
2023 Cyhawk champs.
Yeah, 3-game winning streak against the Hawks.
Hang
I
the
love it.
hang the hang the banner. It's so good.